Hello, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, comrades on the YouTube, and to my family, and the love of my life. Man, did we have a great time or what? I'm working. She's having a travels, that she's never done before, and it was so... everything just worked right out to where my schedule was right along her route most of the way, so it was great. We left my Uncle Bob and Aunt Patty's pad, as I showed you on last video. We got to Rollins, Wyoming, spent the night there, and then we left early in the morning. She followed me all the way into Cheyenne, where she turned to south, and I kept going east into Rochelle, Illinois. Dropped that load, and then went down to Manuka to pick up a load of ice cream. Well, before I did that, I hooked up with my brother in Rochelle. So that was great. We had a nifty little lunch, actually. I left Manuka, and I worked my way all the way down into the greater Denver area where my love was, because she headed down into Denver, greater Denver area, and I ended up doing the same thing. As my load was being delivered in Bakersfield. So that worked out pretty cool. So we were able to spend the night together at our Dada's in the greater Denver area. Then when we left there, we were still hooked all the way along I-70 up over the Rockies, down and beyond Grand Junction. So that worked out great. We ended up staying the night again in Beaver, Utah. And then we left Beaver, Utah, went up to Tehachapi along California Highway 58. Went to Tehachapi. I dropped the truck there, went home, and then spent the night at home. Got to see all the grandbabies and my kids that still live in the Lancaster area. And then last night, Mama took me back to the truck, and I just delivered in Bakersfield this morning. Went to Lemoore, Cali, which is, 100 miles north. Drove up there, got a load of mozzarella. It's a loads of mozzarella. See? Hey. And now I'm in Traver, California. Just got weighed. I am very heavy. But I'm legal, so I'm good. I'm like 79,000. So now I got Carolina on my mind. But just to the travels, one of the traditions of my love and mine's relationship is that we were married on Memorial Day weekend. It was one of the early weekends because the Monday that year was June 1. So if that's the case, it reverts back to the previous weekend because Memorial Day requires a full weekend at the end of May. So we got married on the 23rd, which was that Saturday. So 24th, 25th would have been Memorial Day that year. And we had a motorcycle travels the year previous, before we got married. We were on motorcycle travels. It was our first big trip. Several years beyond that, we always make it a tradition to travel on Memorial Day weekend. Usually and very typically, however, we're on the motorbike, and we've got a Harley Davidson motorbike that we love, and we take it in various trips. Oddly, one of those most recent trips was to see our daughter, who at the time lived up in Pacifica, just up in the Bay Area. So we rode the motorbike up there. Wonderful trip. Worked our way back slowly but surely, and it was hot. Oh God, it was hot. But anyway, along the coast it was great, but as soon as you turned inland, oh my goodness, the temperature goes to rising. So anyway, now this year, we were still traveling together, except that I was in a 579 Peterbilt Ultraloft, and she was in our Durango, traveling ahead of me most of the time. And it was cute as shit because she called me. She said, "All right, look, it's an accident. You got to be on the, get in the hammer lane because the accident's off in the right lane. So, or it's raining here, man. I'll tell you what, we got rain and lightning and this and that. It was fabulous. Couldn't always see her, but we were in good phone contact. That was great. But the irony of it was that we were still traveling together. We traveled together a lot over the Memorial Weekend, and it was separate but the same route, so it worked out nice. We spent the night together several nights. It was just fantissimo. So now I'm back at it, very solo, and I'm bummed because I loved having Mama around me like all the time. It was very cool. So now I press on to Hickory, North Carolina, and I'm due there on June 3rd. So we continue our travels, and we're trying to just kind of get back into a groove to where we can, start doing things correctly here, and hopefully everything works out for the best for really all of us. It will. But so anyway, now I get back home by the end of June, around the end of June, and then back out like the end of the first week of July or so, somewhere in there. So that's what we're planning on doing. Going to be staying out for another kind of a long period of time. So which is kind of cool because I could use the bread and getting a big jump on that, man. I mean, I'm going like 2,500 miles to Hickory, North Carolina with this load of mozzarella. So very excited about it. It's going to be a good run. I'm going to be crossing some storms, I'm sure. I haven't really looked at that yet, but I mean, it's been pretty typical of the last, month? I mean, so many tornadoes this year that are just destructive, man. I just feel so bad for all those people who lost family members, their own lives, everything they owned. Some of the tragic stories of, people flying through the air, getting sucked out of their house, or just wrong place at the wrong time, getting blown 3 blocks down the road and landing in a field somewhere, and not being killed but being seriously injured, getting all twisted up in a tornado. At least an EF2, probably 3. I mean, it's just been terrible tornadoes this year, man, in a lot of states, and all in just that, pretty much that center portion of the United States. Texas on up to Wisconsin. I've even seen tornado warnings as far over as Pennsylvania in the east, western Pennsylvania, but pretty far east. So I mean, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama. I mean, I'm just all these places that are getting hammered. Missouri, with tornadoes. So yeah, I'm about over it. We can have all that go away now. So, but damn it, 'tis the season, and it's what everybody's dealing with right now in the center of our country. It's just horrible. So anyway, sorry to all the folks that have lost family members and all that and everything that they've ever known, just in a matter of 2 seconds, and their dwellings are rubble on the ground. It's just a sad state of affairs and a sad sight to see, as I have seen that in Perryville, Texas last year. Man, it was just, I couldn't believe it. I've never seen devastation from a tornado before mine own eyes, but I did that day, and it just like to choke me up. You want me to be truthful with you? Like to choke me up. So anyway, I wish everybody the best out there that has had any suffering. If any of my subscribers have lost family members or friends or dwellings, cars, whatever have you, my heart is with you. My heart is with you 100 times 100. I feel for all of you, and I'm sorry you're going through it. So anyway, hopefully we can get through some of that on our way to North Dakota. North Dakota, geez, no way, hey, not North Dakota. I got Carolina on my mind, so that's where we're heading, North Carolina. Different accent altogether. Okay, so one thing I'm really aiming for in North Carolina, first of all, I would love to see my cousin Doris, if that's doable. Doris, if you're listening, you fly, I buy. I got dinner. So that's one thing. The other thing is, man, I'm going to the Mecca of NASCAR. That's my favorite sport, NASCAR and hockey. If any of my subscribers have been around long enough, y'all know that. I really enjoy NASCAR. I mean, there's enough argument there to have about how NASCAR is these days compared to all through the 90s. So, but and nonetheless, I love racing. I love oval racing, and I don't care if you're racing on a lawnmower. I'm happy to watch and see who wins. That's my thing. I enjoy it. So I don't know. We'll have to see if I can't maybe bump into a place that is a NASCAR team building. I'd love to see that. My camera would be working overtime. So anyway, I don't have a need to swivel right here because I'm not even getting out of the truck. So I'm just on my 30-minute break here in Traver. Sorry, I was going to say Tanner. I'm in Traver, California, just on a break, 30-minute. Hadn't put anything out lately, so I know I was going to tell you I was going to keep you up with the weather, but there really wasn't much to talk about. I didn't hit gnarly weather, I'm grateful to say that too. I was up on the 70, so we're crossing over the Rockies. I mean, yeah, of course we got some, mountain rainstorms, and I got a little bit of snow, but it was those big, really wet flakes, nothing stuck. It was actually kind of enjoyable. But yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. So didn't have any weather, but we don't really have a reason to swivel either. So we're cruising right along. Look, you already know. You already know who love you. You do know who love you. It's your boy Clydesdale. We're cruising Leonard's Express. We got a reefer on. We're taking mozzarella cheese to Hickory. That's just what we're doing. Take care of yourselves. If you're in the tornadoes or any of that weather, you do know who love you. We're looking out for you. We got you in our thoughts. Definitely. You all have a very good one, and I think I'll leave it right there for now. All right, then. You guys take care. Peace.